The narrative of Arsenal's European night against Club Brugge wasn't one of simple dominance. It was a compelling battle of contrasting footballing philosophies, a match defined by the tension between calculated control and explosive, decisive chaos. Decisive chaos. For long stretches, the script followed a familiar, frustrating pattern for the Gunners. Brugge, under their manager, arrived with a meticulously organised plan, a deep defensive block that compressed space in the middle third, effectively muting Arsenal's preferred rhythmic interplay, heavy football. Their structure was a puzzle, featuring a disciplined central defensive base with players flanking to shut down passing lanes, while their own transitions were sharp, seeking to exploit the space behind Arsenal's advanced fullbacks. You could see the framework. Brugge embodied control, a team perfectly content to absorb pressure, maintain their shape, and wait for a single moment to break the deadlock on their terms. And for a while, it worked brilliantly. Arsenal's initial forays, often channeled through the inverted movements of their fullbacks and the probing passes from the midfield, repeatedly broke against a resolute yellow wall. The final ball was consistently cut out, crosses were blocked, and promising moves fizzled out with an offside flag or a misplaced final pass. The atmosphere grew tense, the crowd's urgency palpable with every stymied attack. Brugge's threat on the counter was ever present, a constant reminder of the game's fine margins. Then, against the grain of the controlled, tactical battle Brugge had imposed, the match was suddenly illuminated by a moment of pure individual brilliance, the very essence of chaos. It came from a player capable of single-handedly disrupting any defensive system. Noni Maduka. Receiving the ball on the right, cutting inside onto his favoured left foot, he created a yard of space where none seemed to exist and unleashed a stunning, arcing strike that left the goalkeeper rooted. The ball exploded into the net, a goal born not from a rehearsed team move, but from audacious individual talent. It was a stunner, a hit of such ferocity and precision that it completely bypassed Brugge's controlled structure. One moment of chaos had broken the deadlock. Had broken the deadlock. However, Brugge's response to this setback was telling. They didn't capitulate. They doubled down on their philosophy of control. They continued to exert real pressure, playing with a determined rhythm, flooding forward in good numbers and forcing Arsenal into periods of sustained defending. The game was far from settled. Arsenal, holding a slender lead, faced the challenge of managing this pressure while searching for a knockout blow. The pivotal moment, the true turning point that defined the match's outcome, came early in the second half. And it was a goal that was the antithesis of the first, yet equally devastating. Here, Arsenal didn't rely on individual magic. They exploited a lapse in Brugge's controlled discipline with ruthless, surgical efficiency. A quick, incisive move caught Brugge's defence napping, a simple but devastating ball played across the face of the goal, finding Mado and marked at the far post for a simple finish. This goal was a tactical concession, a systemic failure from Brugge. They had switched off for a second, and Arsenal punished them. From 1-0 to 2-0, the nature of the goals showcased the dual threat Arsenal possessed. The capacity for wondrous individual skill and the cold, clinical exploitation of defensive errors. With a 2-goal cushion, the entire dynamic of the match shifted. Arsenal now had the control they had been searching for. They could manage the game, dictate the tempo, and pick their moments to attack without the same desperation. Brugge, now forced to chase the game, had to open up, leaving spaces that Arsenal's dynamic forwards craved. And it was into this landscape that Gabriel Martinelli delivered the exclamation point. This was perhaps the most significant goal of the night from a tactical perspective. It was a direct result of Arsenal's enforced control and Brugge's stretched shape. Receiving the ball in a more advanced area, Martinelli drove forward, faced up his defender, and with a devastating combination of pace and precision, fired an unstoppable shot into the net. This strike underlined a crucial lesson for Arsenal in Europe. While patience and structure are vital, the ultimate weapon is often the direct, vertical threat posed by world-class attackers sensing a wounded opponent. Martinelli's goal was a demand met, a statement of intent that killed the contest. The remainder of the match played out with Arsenal in firm command, showcasing the game management that elite European nights require. They controlled possession, saw out periods of pressure, and even had opportunities to add a fourth, with Gabriel Jesus famously rattling the crossbar. Sorry. The introduction of fresh legs from the bench helped maintain the intensity and structure. This performance was a microcosm of a successful Champions League campaign, weathering an opponent's organised plan, staying patient and being ready to capitalise on two distinct types of opportunities: the moment of individual genius and the opponent's structural mistake. The 3-0 scoreline, built on a foundation of resilience, before flourishing with flair, sent a powerful message. It proved that Arsenal could win in more than one way. They could engage in a tactical battle of control and, when necessary, unleash the chaotic, match-winning quality that resides in players like Madou and Martinelli. It was a victory of adaptability, a sign of a team maturing on the continental stage, understanding that the path to success often requires blending disciplined control with the courage to embrace decisive chaos.